It's a big setback for Bangladesh from the ICC. The ICC has rejected Bangladesh's request for a hybrid model, making it very clear that they can choose to play in India for the upcoming T20 World Cup or not be a part of it at all. Bangladesh has been asked to give their final reply by tomorrow. If Bangladesh continues to remain adamant, they're essentially going to be chucked out. They're going to be thrown out of the tournament. They will be replaced by another team, by Scotland. So a no-nonsense approach right now by the ICC. They're making it very clear that the ultimate call is with Bangladesh. But if they're not willing to play in India, there's going to be no plan B, no arrangements, alternate arrangements being made. Nikhil Naz is joining us with more details on this. Nikhil, ultimately, Bangladesh will suffer the consequences of their own decision, of their own actions. That's the message being sent out by the ICC.
In fact, I think it's pretty much sealed on that front, Akshita. And I think it's a very big day in cricket. For the very first time, you'll have a scenario where a team would literally have to sit out of a World Cup because, as you mentioned, that they have refused to move to their stance of not coming to India. So what is it that the ICC has said? And I think this is very important. ICC has actually voted against having Bangladesh coming for that T20 World Cup and not playing in India. So ICC has pretty much told Bangladesh, if you don't want to play in India, you're out. They've said it in as many words. I think they've only made one concession, given them about 24 hours to, if they want to change their stance and come and play in India, maybe then they will be allowed to play here, which I don't think will be possible at the moment with the voices that have been coming out of Bangladesh, especially from the government in charge at the moment. Doesn't look like they changed the stance. So you'll have an unprecedented situation in the history of cricket where a team would have to be, for a lack of a better word, chucked out of a tournament because they refused to come and play in India. So as I said, these are big developments. If you trace back to what had been happening for the last couple of weeks, there had been frantic negotiations between the ICC as well as the Bangladesh Cricket Board. In fact, an ICC delegation even visited Bangladesh, told them that, listen, there is no way that we can make an exception for you and allow you to play your games in Sri Lanka. We've done our internal assessment. Our internal assessment tells us it's safe for you to come and play in India, and you have to follow up on that. And many people might see it as India versus Bangladesh. Let me make a distinction there. This is the ICC that has voted against Bangladesh. The meeting that happened, it was voted 14-2 in favor of not having Bangladesh in the tournament if they stick to that stance. So only two countries voted in favor of Bangladesh. Who are the two countries? One, of course, Bangladesh, because they're represented there as well in the ICC board. The second permanent member that was there that voted in favor of Bangladesh is, of course, Pakistan. So not Pakistan backed Bangladesh. Only two countries voted in favor, 14 against. So it was a clear-cut decision for the ICC to take.
Unfortunate, that you're seeing the sport being marred by politics in this manner, but that's what it is. This is ultimately Bangladesh doing this to themselves by, ensuring they're so adamant and stubborn over not playing in India because of whatever political reasons they have to do so. Now we understand, Nikhil, the ball is still very much in Bangladesh's court. They still have an option that in the next 24 hours they can change their mind. So the ICC is giving them that chance.
That's right, they are giving them the chance, but will they take the chance? If I had to hazard a guess, Akshita, I'd say that it seems unlikely, and I'll tell you why. Had this been left to the Bangladesh Cricket Board, they definitely would have done a U-turn. Why? Because they have much to lose. One, of course, to sit out of a World Cup. Secondly, there are going to be a lot of monetary losses as well, which a Bangladesh Cricket Board at the moment cannot afford. But unfortunately, the decision now doesn't rest with the Bangladesh Cricket Board. It's the interim government that's taking all the decision. And you got to also see, why is it that the interim government being so stubborn at the moment? Because in another month's time, you're going to be having the elections in Bangladesh. What I have come to learn from people in Bangladesh, speaking to a lot of journalists, the current mood on ground has been that no, we will not go to India, and that's the current mood of the masses there in Bangladesh. Remember, the government only thinks about votes, government only thinks about vote banks. So it then works in their favor to actually do things that the people would want them to do. Currently, there is a lot of anti-India sentiment in Bangladesh amongst the masses, and that's why the government is following up on this, even though you will have to crucify cricket in Bangladesh because of that. But I think they're ready to take that risk, which is why I think that U-turn seems very unlikely. Most likely, you'll have Bangladesh being replaced by Scotland in that World Cup.
Just imagine that. I bet this is unprecedented, that we're going to see Bangladesh not being a part of the T20 World Cup. Why? Because they've essentially dug their own grave on this, saying very clearly, we don't want to play in India. In the next 24 hours, what decision they come up with will decide their fate in the T20 World Cup. But as Nikhil says, there's possibly no chance really that they're going to go back and say we're okay with playing in India. Thanks very much, Nikhil, for joining us.